And today's episode, we are going to be exploring the story of VAMP, one of the most influential cultural marketing agencies to come out of the UK. So 7 years since their launch, I'll be sitting down to speak to one of the co-founders, Christina, today to discuss all things building a creative business from scratch. So how to build opportunities for your business, to actually build a business system and a model that lasts. So VAMP is like one of the first to do what you're doing, and being the first is not always easy. People don't really understand what you're doing. It's hard to get that support because people don't really take to things that are new and unfamiliar. Would you say on your journey you experienced that with VAMP, and like what was those first early stages of building like?
Yeah, I think the difference between us and other businesses that are very niche is we use our niche as an advantage, and our niche was what was actually really needed. So they always say that black people or black women always start a business from a necessity. And I feel like that's definitely what we did. I think we were young black girls. We started a business when we were 23. We were being influenced by people like Patricia Bright, Jenny Jenkins, Shirley, all those people. Yeah. But when we were at our companies or we were at our internships or whatever, we never saw that representation. So that's when we started pushing it and seeing that there was a need. And we also had a friend, Mariam Musa, who was a creator, and we just started pushing her too. We used our niche as an advantage, and we did have some pushback because we didn't know where to fit in the industry. But when we started to go into brands and like being like, oh, so have you got this person, or what's the kind of cast looking like in terms of your casting looking like for your campaigns, and if it's not diverse enough, that's when we can step in and be like, use this person. And it worked a lot because there was a need for it. Absolutely.
And you know what's so crazy is that in your first year you got one of your biggest gigs, and it was with Girls Trip, right? Yeah. How did that opportunity come about, and can you tell me the story behind that?
Yeah, so I was at Google during my internship. This is like my year break at uni. Ruby was at Universal Pictures, and we were in the same building, which was so funny. And then Ruby was in Coventry. I think she was pregnant with Tolu, our goddaughter, basically. But when we had that, Ruby was working at Universal Pictures, so she was kind of in the PR team, like home entertainment team. So when we decided to go for Girls Trip, she kind of knew how it went on in the business, but she just called someone. So it wasn't a thing where she knew someone. It's more like she knew there was a number, so she called them. And she was like, yeah, we have an agency called VAMP, we represent talent. We can like kind of help the PR for this movie. Literally, we saw a bus going past and we were like, oh my gosh, Girls Trip, we should work on that. Literally, it's such a... Anyway. And then we called and she was like, it was this little white girl. She was just like, yeah, I haven't really started working on it yet, but you can send me a deck. And we sent her the deck and she was like, oh, this was great. Can you send me another one? And we were like, no, we're going to come in and we're going to pitch it to you. She was like, yeah, come in. So we went in, pitched her the whole idea of us. I can't remember our pitch. I need to look at that pitch again because I just know whatever we went in with, it was like way more than what we did. We did more than what we said, because she started telling us what she was doing and we were like, oh, don't go on this show, go on this show, talk to this person, And she was like, okay, cool. What about you help me with this? And then you do the screening. I'll give you like 20% of the screening, which is like, if there's a screening happening, they'll give us 20% of the allocation of the seats. And then you can consult with PR, you can get some journalists to interview Jada. And then we were like, yeah, okay, cool. So we just started doing all of that and it was just so random. But
so imagine you're working hard trying to get people to understand what VAMP is about. And what was it like when you got this big opportunity on the table?
It was huge. Like, it was huge. And it was great because we already had a network of creators and people that we could get involved. So, for example, at the time we were working with people like Cuppy, Charlie Kamali. We had like a great network. So when we did that event, we had people like Melissa's Wardrobe. And guys, this was in 2017. Yeah. Like, this was before the girls were really, really the girls. Like, they were still very influential at the time. But now they've managed to grow their following so huge. But we had people like Miss Wardrobe. We had like Shalina. We had the Receipts girls. I think that was the time they first started. But I was a huge fan at the beginning of the Receipts. We had so many influential people in that room. I remember we even had Michaela Cole come, Ella Air. We had like some serious like people in there, which was nice.
Did you ever have a like, I think we've made it moment?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know what? I think we struggle to celebrate our wins, which is why a lot of people don't really know all the stuff that we do. We're just always trying to chase the bag and get to the next thing. Yeah. So I think we did have a moment where we were like, oh, this is a bit crazy. But I think when you're in that moment, because as soon as we did really well with Girls Trip, we now went to Disney and we said, oh, we just did Girls Trip, can we do Black Panther? So we didn't have time. I think we did Girls Trip, then we did Molly's Game, then we did Black Panther, then we did Wrinkle in Time, because when we went to Disney, they ended up giving us 2 films to work on. So yeah, we were just like,
you know what I love about you guys? You're so bold. Like the way you, even when you got you sent your first deck, you actually went in there physically and then you went to Disney. How did you feel confident saying like, this is what we're about, and like pitching yourself to these brands?
I think it's a bit of delulu. I think, no, 100, I'm such a delusional, but like you ask people about me, like I'm very like, I feel like I can do everything because my mum always made me feel like I can do anything. So I feel like the combination of us being 3 black girls that we just kind of do whatever we want was us thinking, oh, why not? Let's just go in, and if they say no, they say no. And one thing about us is like, we don't take that first no. Like, we don't take that first no. We take, when someone says no to you, then you ask them why, like, and then you kind of persuade them. That's the game of business and sales, you know?
Yeah, and I love that because you guys have been really big on relationships. Like even when you're speaking about like the events you hosted, it's all about your relationships. How did you turn your relationships into actual opportunities?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it's about like kind of nourishing the relationships you have with people. I think it's so important for people to know that you might meet someone now, but they might not give you money until 2 years, 3 years later. But you should still nurture that relationship with them. If you have an event, invite them to the event. If you follow them on Instagram, LinkedIn, engage with them on their posts and stuff like that. Still support them when you can, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people want to help, but some people just can't help. So don't gauge your relationships with people on what they can do for you at all times. Like, you know, it will come a time where it might have been like 10 years and that person has never helped you, 5 years, or you can see that they're actively maybe not helping you. Then you can make that issue. But just wait until someone can actually like give you something. I don't know. It's like not everything is so give and take at that moment. Like nourish the relationship and let them want to naturally support you and help you. Yeah,
because you know what? It's so funny because networking is kind of transactional in a way. Like people will network and they're like, okay, what can I give you? What can you take from me? But you're saying that you kind of have to leave that behind and actually just nurture the relationship.
Nurture the relationship, because I think when we first started, there was a big community of black people starting businesses, and I think that we made a lot of friends and stuff, and all my friends now, or a lot of them, are doing well in their business. But at that time, when we just started talking, I wasn't there like, okay, what can you do for me? No one had money. Everyone was broke. No one had money. Everyone was just trying to make shit happen. Sorry. People were just trying to make things happen. So, like you just have to nurture relationships properly. You never know what could happen. Yeah.
Looking back now, across 7 years of VAMP, is there a particular moment, event, or brand that you've worked with that has like stuck in your memory and you're like, this is a moment I'll never forget?
Yeah, I think it was more of a recent one. So we worked on the launch of Sacred, so Beyoncé Sacred. We did the UK launch.
Sacred.
Yeah.
Wow.
So to me, that was like a moment because we met Beyonce's publicist, Yvette, who's such a like inspiration to us. Like she really nurtures us and cares about us, and we love her too. She messaged and she was like, oh, can you sign this NDA? And you know when you get NDA from the Beyonce camp, it's not something that you're just gonna, I signed that so quickly. So signed that, and then they asked us to pitch for it, and then we got it, which was amazing. And I think just being part of that, because Sacred is an amazing product. The thing is with me is like, I know when products are rubbish, I know when products are good. When we first got Sacred and we tried it, we were like, okay, this bang.
This is the real thing.
It smells nice. It does what it needs to do. The packaging is good. So it spoke for itself. So it was so easy for us to push it and give it to creators to like push. And we had a lot of support from creators as well. And they were very happy, and we were happy too. Yeah.
I was even going to ask you that, do you only, because you're very like mission and purpose led, do you only work with brands that align with your mission?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're very picky on who we work with, and they know who we are and what we stand for. So if you're not going to align with us, then it's not really going to work, is it? Yeah.
And one thing I could say is that VAMP is a testament to longevity. I feel like a lot of people don't really focus on longevity. Everyone's chasing instant gratification. What do you think is the secret to actually building longevity and creating a business that will last?
I think it's about going through the highs and the lows and sticking together. Things are never going to be easy. Like when I say things are not easy, like we have gone through it for real. Not just financially, but operationally, team-wise. There's just so much stuff that we've gone through. And I wish more business owners and entrepreneurs, especially in the black community, would be more honest about their journeys, because it's not easy at all. However, you have to ride through the highs and lows, and you should push. And I always say when it's a low period, still push. don't let the low period push you down, or like, you know, a lot of us can go into kind of like depression or go into like get some mental health issues because of what's going on in business. It's a big thing. A lot of founders suffer from a lot of mental health issues because of what's going on. There's a lot of pressures coming from different directions. However, still try and push through and just push. Yeah.
Has there been a moment where you kind of thought, okay, like we're at a very low point, like I don't know how we're gonna get out of this,
absolutely.
and you managed to get yourself out? Is there an example? Can you give an example of a time? Because you know what, I think it's important for people to see that like this is a real thing. Like
okay. Do you know what? It's just, you know, you're such a private person. We're so private. It's hard to, but do you know what? I'm big on sharing and making sure that people know the ins and outs. Payroll. A lot of people that we hired, you know, we kind of nearly didn't. Well, I'm going to be honest, we missed payroll once. Like once we missed
That's
payroll.
a real thing with businesses, you know.
Honestly.
A lot of businesses, it's hard for them to scale because of finances. That's a real thing. But you got out on the other end. How did you do that?
So the thing is, we had never missed payroll at all, ever. And I think that we were very lax because we knew it was fine and everything. And then it was just a big shocker for us when it happened. And I feel like the communications with the team wasn't the best. And it didn't really affect us kind of in a bad way, but then it made us really look at our books and think, well, we're not really making the right decisions here as a business. Like, we need to think about the amount of people that we have on our team. We need to think about what we can actually afford to do, what we actually can't afford to do. So we just had to make some serious decisions, which was like a tough time. Oh my God. Yeah.
On the outside, what you guys do is like really, really fun. Do you think there's a side of the business that's a bit more serious, like when it comes to payroll and like all of these things?
So the thing is that when people come into VAMP, they think, because we're so me, Ruby and Ruby are so funny. If you see us together as a dynamic, always cussing each other as a joke, like we're always doing stuff, but we've been friends for years. Like, that's why we can do that with each other. However, I think sometimes when people come and work with us, they think that, you know, it's banter. Yeah. But when it comes to the time for the work to be done, if the work ain't done, you're gonna find out what happens.
A different side. You're gonna see a different side.
So I think a lot of times people come in and they think it's all fun and games, but there's a reason why we have all these clients. There's a reason why we've maintained the business for 8 years, because we get work done, you know, and so it's a very serious side to us. Deadlines, and Ruby's very like grammar, deadlines, ways of working. She's really strict. So when people see that, they're like...
And I love that you're mentioning them as well, because you actually built this business alongside your co-founders, and you started when you was 23. So in a way, you guys are kind of growing together, not in business, but in life. What has that been like? How have you managed to maintain a healthy friendship and be good business partners?
So I think it's like strengths and weaknesses. From the beginning, we've all realised our strengths and weaknesses. We all have different parts of our lives that are very different. Rumby's got 2 kids and she's getting married, so she's always had a family from the beginning of VAMP. So you have to give grace when someone has a whole actual life, you know, they have to lead, you know. And me and Ruby have our things as well, where it's like we have to give each other grace in the way we work, the way we deal with pressure, the way we deal with stress, and the way we kind of see things. So we just know our strengths and our weaknesses. We pick things up when the other person's down. We don't hold it against each other, you know. It's kind of like, I need help with this, someone will jump and help. You could be doing so many things, but you need to help someone in your team,
Yeah. Do you think it's harder now to kind of build a business and like actually sustain it for the long term? Because 7 years is a long time you guys have been running this business, you know? Yeah,
it's long, right? Oh, God. I think it's harder now. I think there's a lot more pressure. If I was 30, because I'm 30, what am I, 31? Yeah, I'm 31. If I started a business now, there'll be so much more things that I would have to think about. My rent, my car, all this kind of stuff. When I was 23, I only had a phone bill to pay. I contributed to renting the house sometimes. Like, you know, I would go out and all that. But now I have like the minimum lifestyle, like I have to be able to hold that. So if I were to start a business, I need to be able to do that. Because when we first started VAMP, we didn't really have a salary. But if I were to start a new business, I'd have to have a salary like that.
In the beginning, So would you advise that people start? Because I bet you look back at 23-year-old you and you're kind of grateful, right? Because VAMP has kind of also shaped your life and like re-changed it. When you look at people who are young and building businesses, would you say is in your 20s is the best time to start a business? Yeah,
absolutely. Definitely. But I also don't want to put pressure on people who haven't started a business young. Because I think 30s is also really good because you'll have money in the bank. You can invest in yourself. You know people, you have relationships and stuff. But 20s is when you can make your mistakes. You know, you can find business partners. You can find out what your generation needs. Because in your 20s, I think the 20-year-olds now are Gen Z or like something. They will know what the Gen Zs need and they will grow with them. Like, we're lucky enough to have started a business at 23 with people who were that age. Till now, they still know who we are. There's people who started their roles at their company, junior roles at 23, just started uni, in more senior roles now, and they're working with us more now because we've grown with them. So like start thinking about that. Grow with your customers or grow with your clients. So yeah, 20s I'll definitely say, yeah.
Why has community been a big part of like what VAMP does?
Because I think I grew up in community. So when I used to play out, certain people, like my friends' parents would feed us. Like it would be like, you go to this person, everyone will eat there, everyone will eat there. Or like we had such a community. I grew up like that. So I think when I started a business, I was very big on, we need to know people need to know us, people need to get to know each other. So, and also I just felt like there was no black women that we could really like look up to and really guide us. So I was like, instead of trying to like network up, like network sideways, you know, peer to peer kind of networking.
That's an interesting viewpoint of it. When you say network sideways, what do you mean?
So like your peers, so like your age mates, people who kind of do the same thing as you. Like, because I think we tend to look up and think, oh my gosh, that person's 40, 50 years old, they have a family, they got this, they've achieved so much. But it's kind of like network with the people around you because you're all going to grow together. So I was like, let's kind of build a little community. So I think we ended up contributing a couple £100 to food and drink. And then we did this whole kind of Power Brunch thing. We invited about 30 women. Hopefully some of the women, like, they know who they are, people that first started it. And then, yeah, we did it. Everyone was like writing a letter to their younger self. We had people come in and give talks. I remember Slaying Your Lane. I don't know if you know Yomi and Liz. Yeah, so when they started the book, we got them to read the extracts there. It hadn't like come out yet.
So nice.
Yeah, so it was so cool. And then we did that for like 3 years. And then I was like, we need to open it up. Like, it can't just be for hand-selected women. Because one thing I hate is cliques. You see me? Yeah. I hate cliques. So I'm like, we're not going to become a clique, you know? So let's open it up to women who want to come and might not know these people. So what we've done for the past few years is create a space with the Black Business Week, where women come and they are on panels and we share loads of things. And as women in the room can go up to these women and speak to them and not feel like there's a barrier, and also speak to each other. We do it like banqueting style. So the tables are like 10 women in one table. They all don't know each other. Yeah. You can talk to each other. I force networking. That's my thing. You have to talk to that girl. I know as Black girls, we can be very shy and we can get very anxious to talk to people. But you can do it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I really love what you guys do, because it's like you're bringing people together and like everyone get to know each other. Let's actually collaborate rather than compete. Yeah. So I want to end it with anyone listening who wants to build a creative business agency that actually lasts for a long time. What are like 3 practical tips you would give to them?
Okay, so first one, obviously, network. So build your network. You know, people say your network is your net worth, you know. Yeah. So start building relationships with people. Maybe try and find a mentor in the industry, and don't get too hung up on finding a mentor. Like, I never really had a mentor coming up. I had people, like, I networked peer to peer, you know, horizontally. Yeah. So I had people around me that could help me and stuff like that. But yeah, try and build a network of people around you, from friends in the industry. If you're in the advertising industry, creative industry, try and build friends with people who are in brands, advertising, creatives, definitely creatives, freelancers, because you might need them. Pardon me. The second one, sales. Learn how to sell. Oh my gosh, I'm such a big... The thing is, I wouldn't say I was a salesperson. I told someone actually said to me, Tina, you're actually a salesperson. I was like, you know what? You're actually right. Like, I actually am a saleswoman. But learn how to sell, learn how to pitch, do courses, watch people who can sell. Like, you're going to have to take no for an answer, but try to turn a no into a maybe. Yeah. You know, try and learn how to do that. Learn how to pitch yourself. Learn how to do an elevator pitch. Learn how to pitch yourself in 15 seconds. Like, practice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So maybe start 30 seconons first, then go lower and lower and lower. Yeah. But learn how to pitch yourself on what you do. And know yourself in and out as well. And I was going to do something around numbers, maybe, because I think it's important. Yeah. Not all of us are good at numbers, which is fine. I'm okay at numbers. I'm not the best, but I'm actually all right at numbers. But try and understand the numbers from the beginning. You know, even if the number is 0, know the number is 0. Like, you should know things. Like, if you're making money, but you know that you have high costs, at least know how much you're making and how much you're losing. Just be very aware. Like, you know, create a business plan and a budget sheet, I would always say, for every business, even if you're a creative business.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This was great. Thanks for dropping all the gems. This was really, really good.